Hello, you're tuned into Coast to Coast Real Estate with Jaqueline Steib. This podcast will take us all across the globe as we learn the ins and outs of real estate from the industry's top advisors. Here we are now with Jaqueline Steib.
Welcome to Coast Real Estate. I am your host, Jaqueline Steib, with Vista Sotheby's International Realty, broadcasting simultaneously from Manhattan Beach, California, and Silicon Valley, California. Yes, I didn't get out of my state today. I stay really close by. In today's episode, we will get to know Kat Bedbury with Golden Gate Sotheby's International Realty. Without further ado, allow me to introduce you to Kat, our guest speaker for today's episode of Coast to Coast Real Estate Podcast. Welcome and thank you, Kat, for being here and sharing your time with me and our listeners.
Thank you for having me as your guest. It's such an honor.
The honor is mine. Hey, Kat, tell me and our listeners a little bit about you. Who is Kat?
Boy, that's a long story. There's a lot of years here. So I started out in social work and then property management, and then on to being in real estate as a realtor. I started my career with Coldwell Banker and was there for 10 years, and the last 5 years with Golden Gate Sotheby's International Realty. And so I am the team leader of our team. And we cover from San Francisco, which Michelle Kennedy covers, and I cover from anything south of San Francisco to San Jose.
Song just came to my head when you say San Jose.
Yeah, every time I say that, I want to start singing the song.
Hey, how did you end up in your current city? Did you grow up there?
No, I didn't. I was actually born and raised in Phoenix and Scottsdale, Arizona, and then moved to Loveland, Colorado, then to Ukiah, California, which is in the north of San Francisco, about 3 hours north. And then I moved to Sacramento, and that's where I met Bob Bedbury, my business partner and husband. And we knew each other for 16 years as he pursued me. And then we've been married 17. So I married him because he was from the Bay Area. He was born and raised here in Redwood City. We met in Sacramento. He moved back to the Bay Area. And so when I finally said yes, after him being pursuing for so many years, I moved to the Bay Area where we live now.
What are the things you love the most about your city?
Wow, there's a lot. It's the weather is probably the number one thing. Redwood City was voted best by Climate by Government Test. And that was a little slogan that was chosen for that. So we do have really idyllic, even temperatures year round. We're close. We're just 15 minutes to Half Moon Bay, the ocean. We're just about 20 minutes from San Francisco and 20 minutes from San Jose. So there's the arts and theater, which now we haven't been to for seems like a long memory when we used to be able to go to concerts and all that. But there's a lot to do. There's a lot of trails, hiking trails, and it's Silicon Valley. A lot is happening. It's a busy place to live. That's what I love.
What is your favorite childhood memory?
Well, my childhood wasn't idyllic. I wish I could say that I had a wonderful childhood, but I was raised by a single mom. And there was 4 children, and it was quite challenging, to say the least. But I do remember one memory, and it was only one Easter that I can recall, where we had a big family gathering of extended family. And my grandmother was a great cook. So I just remember the food being a lot of food, and Easter egg hunt, and of course candy and all of that with all my cousins and such. And that was a really fun date. But that's really kind of the only memory I have that I can say that is really fond, where there was no drama or upset.
Oh, we can all go down that bad rabbit hole, but we're not going to go. We're just going to stay with the Easter Bunny full of candy and good memories right now.
It shaped me into who I am. I'm a very empathetic person. I can sense my clients and what they need before they can even verbalize something. So I think that it gave me a skill set that is pretty special and has really benefited me in my life with relationships as well as business. So I'm grateful for it.
Our childhood definitely shapes who we are, and some of us wish we had it a little bit easier. We all have our own little experiences, but definitely they divorced when I was 9 years old. I'm the oldest of three. So yes, in Mexico we don't do the Easter Bunny or anything like that. But
Yeah. Yeah. And my childhood was extremely violent. I mean, severe violence. So
yeah, it
yeah.
just helps you grow and makes you super strong. When you decided that you were going to do real estate, who was the first person who believed in you outside of you?
Okay, well, I'm going to go back to when I was 9 years old, because that was in Scottsdale, Arizona, and they had just started coming out with model homes where you could go tour model homes, and they had staging in those model homes. Growing up the way I did, it was my mother used to take us there to dream, like we could dream of having a home someday. And one day, and I can still see what I have, the dress I was wearing, I was twirling around the living room of this home, and I literally just shouted out, when I grow up, I'm going to sell homes. So it was a passion from mine from a very young age. And home meant a lot to me at that age. And it stayed with me. So even when I was a renter all through my 20s and mid 30s, I knew everything about my neighborhood and all the real estate stats. I could tell you everything about it. So don't ever go for a walk with me back then, because I could literally tell you that house used to be this color and it sold it this year for that amount of price. And
Neighborhood specialist from an early age.
so I loved real estate and always have and still do. But there are two people when I decided to go into real estate. One was Bart Kevney, and I don't know if he's still around, but at the time he was probably in his early 80s. And he was teaching real estate to almost all the realtors here in the Bay Area. And then Marianne Zanoni Rush was the manager at Caldwell Banker. And those two were quite significant. Bart Kevney saw in me in the classroom, he saw somebody where he said, "You're going to be a superstar." He also said real estate was going to be, I was going to be great at real estate. Real estate was going to be hard for me because I'm a little bit on the OCD kind of perfectionist realm. So he kind of nailed that from the get go. And Marianne was somebody that I would not be who I am today without her. And I still talk to her almost every week. She was kind of like a mother to me and a mentor and somebody that I could ask. Her career was she was an elementary school teacher before she went into real estate. So you can just tell that personality for somebody like me, she was very nurturing, encouraging. Whenever I had questions, I never felt like one was too stupid or I was interrupting her or she didn't have time for me. So I feel like I learned so much from her and had so much encouragement that she saw something in me that I couldn't quite frankly see for myself. So she held that vision for me. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. You can hear the crack in my voice.
A good mentor can make a big difference in all of our lives, especially when you have somebody who supports you and sees the true potential. I think sometimes we get hung up as to what am I supposed to do or what are the expectations of others. And our amazing mentors can actually say, what are the expectations of yourself? Let's use who you're supposed to be instead of trying to figure out what so and so wants you to be.
She was really a significant person in my life. Out of all the people I've had in my life, it would be her. Yeah, and with Bart Kevney, his favorite was the local television. Oh gosh, what's the name of that? KQED, and that was his favorite TV station. And so my very first commission check, I donated the entire thing in his name to the TV station because he had played such a significant role for me as well.
Amazing, amazing gift that she gave you.
Thank you, Bart and Marianne.
That's a great way to honor both of them. Tell me, how and why did you join the Sotheby's family?
Good question. We had been courted for many years by, all the local brokerages, saying, "Oh, we'll pay you this commission. We'll give you corner office. We'll do this. We'll do that." And quite frankly, we never entertained any of it ever. We just always thank them, but that we were very loyal to Marianne and Caldwell Banker. We are very loyal people. We don't bounce around, and we're very loyal to our vendors and to everyone. So what happened is we went out to like a happy hour with a bunch of realtors from different brokerages. And there was the manager at the time who was the vice president of today's Sotheby's before they were purchased by Golden Gate Sotheby's. And we were at the restaurant and met him casually. The next day he called on us and said, want to meet for coffee. So I immediately went in, which is not typical of realtors, but I went in and told Marianne Zanoni Rush that I was going to go meet with Robert and have coffee. And she was like, oh, he's going to try you. And I said, no, he won't be able to take us away from you. We're just going to, meet with him. So we came back and we said, you know what? We actually really liked him. He did pitch us and we're going to meet with him again. So make a very long story short, we met with him and the owners of today's Sotheby's for about 6 months. It was a very long process for us to make the decision to leave because of the loyalty I felt for Marianne making me successful, and to walk away once I had kind of arrived. That was kind of it didn't feel right. But we went in, had a heart-to-heart with her, and she said, you have to do what's best for you. And if your heart is calling you to go there, I support you 100%. And so we left and went to Sotheby's. And I'll tell you, the first meeting was a Monday morning meeting. And after that meeting, Bob and I looked at each other and we said, what took us so long? Like, we didn't know what we didn't know that we didn't know. But it was clearly evident within an hour that we had made the best decision ever. They are more in alignment of who we are and how we do business, the white glove service, the way you provide that service to your clients, and that every property is just as important as the next one. So our values aligned.
It's about the people. They are the ones who bring not just the properties, but the quality, the relationships, the lifelong experiences. And it's not about the numbers or the transactions.
Yes, absolutely.
So Kat, take me to a showing day, shopping with your buyers, and you're walking into a home that had this particular smell. What was the smell that made you guys want to run away?
It's probably, if I can think of anything, I can't think of a specific time or smell, but I've had clients that had a reaction to a smell. And I would say that it was typically a pet smell or a smell of cigarette smoke or cigar smoke, something like that. And how you overcome that, there's so many things that you can do. There's coffee grounds, there's companies that come out and clean painting, removing the carpet and the pad, installing new hardwood floors. There's things that I always give them a solution to that smell of what can turn that around.
What's your favorite smell in a house?
I have my own signature candle that I use, and I'm actually pretty well known for it. It has been with me at every single open house from the day one, my very first open house. I had the candle. I've actually received 2 listings from that candle because somebody came through the open house and said, wow, what's that smell? And I said, I'll give you one. And they, of course, think it's a realtor ploy, try and get their contact information. And I said, I promise you that I will not do that. I really will just drop off the candle, no business card, no nothing. And guess what? I dropped off those candles. I wrapped it all up, made it really pretty, and put a little note in there just saying, I hope you enjoy the candle as much as I have. A few years later, I had 2 calls and I listed their homes just from that, just that little gift with nothing attached to it.
It's I really want to give you a candle. Could you just take a gift from me? It's a Kat candle that she's going to bottle and sell for everybody else out there. There's the next business gig for you right there. How do you get a house ready for the market?
Wow, that's an involved process for our team. I don't cut any corners. I pay attention to all the details, and our colleagues really appreciate that. They feel confident when they're showing a Bedbury Group listing that they're going to show a house that is really been prepared. I gather all the estimates on behalf of our clients. So I meet them at the property. I gather all the estimates. I put it into a spreadsheet so that they can see what those estimates are totaling. And then we talk about the return on investment. and what we can do. We also have our